and basically whatever the hell I want. Hello everybody and welcome to Gene's Reviews from a regular dude here in my car. If you're already subscribed, thank you very much. If you're not subscribed yet, please think about doing so. Make sure you tap that bell icon so you can be notified every single time I upload a new video. Also, give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. Now, and share this with all of your friends. Everybody. Send it out there. Make it go viral. Now, without further ado, let's get to the video. Today, we've got one from Most Amazing Top 10. This is terrifying real-life stories captured on doorbell cameras. I know I've done a lot of these before, but I find them really interesting. I hope you guys do too. Let's check it out.
A woman in Washington barely escapes a masked man who chases her to her front door. A guy in North Carolina went to open his door and came face to face with a dangerous animal coiled around the handle.
Whoa.
And in Utah, a family dispute turned into a deadly ambush when a man showed up at his brother's house, opened fire, and tried to set the place ablaze. These are terrifying things captured on doorbell cameras. So this one is straight up terrifying. A woman in Kent, Washington caught the exact moment when she was followed home by a masked guy with a firearm. All of it recorded on her home doorbell camera. You can see him run up behind her just as she gets to her door, and she manages to slam it shut literally right before he reaches her. It just makes your stomach drop. The footage was originally shared on Reddit by a now deleted user a couple years back with a warning that people, especially in the Asian community, were being followed and targeted like this. Apparently, Kent had already been dealing with a wave of these follow home style robberies, which is why the city actually partnered with Ring
That's
in
pretty
the first place.
spooky.
This
That's
clip
pretty
shows
scary, actually.
Exactly why. This is a wild video, though. If she'd been even a second slower,
more real life horror.
Way differently. In April of 2023, a doorbell camera in North Ogden, Utah,
I've seen
captured
this.
something
I remember
horrifying.
this.
A man named
It's
Jeff
bad.
Roberts showed up at his brother Scott's home, rang the bell, and after a short conversation at the door, pulled a firearm out and shot him. The two had been in a long feud over their mother's estate. Jeff didn't stop there either. He went inside, fired at Scott's wife Jody, who fortunately lived, then lit the house on fire using road flares. But instead of running, he went back to his van, grabbed their weapons and waited, clearly expecting a standoff with police, and that's exactly what happened. When 3 officers arrived, Jeff opened fire. One officer took cover behind a brick mailbox as bullets zipped past him, hitting the mailbox and his car. Somehow he wasn't hit. The officers fired back more than 50 rounds and killed Jeff on the front steps of the burning house. All of this was captured on this doorbell camera. Investigators later found a 27-page letter in Jeff's van where he ranted about how his family had cut him out of the estate. He believed his brother and uncle manipulated their mother and turned her against him. Friends said he'd been bitter for years. Back in November of 2019, a doorbell camera in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I don't really understand that. I still wouldn't go to that extreme. I would just move on. Figure, okay, my brother's dead to me. Not literally dead, though. I just won't have nothing to do with him anymore. To me, that's crazy.
Recorded something that's still haunting people in the neighborhood today. A woman screaming for help, like her life was depending on it. And it is very possible that's exactly what the case was. You don't actually see the woman in the video, but you can certainly hear her. A neighbor's security camera picked up the audio, and another nearby camera caught a white car speeding away right after. Witnesses said they saw a woman with dark braided hair in the front seat, screaming as a man pulled her hair back. One person reported hearing the man say, I'm sorry, while the woman cried out for help. Police looked through missing persons cases in the area, but they never figured out who the woman was or exactly what happened. The LAPD said they couldn't tell if it was a kidnapping, a domestic situation, or something else entirely. To this day, no one knows what became of the woman in the video. This one's nuts. So a guy walks up to his door, reaches for the handle, and then pulls his hand back like he's just seen a ghost. He didn't see a ghost, but it's just as scary, if not worse, for some. He hadn't expected to see a snake chilling right there. That looks like a rattler. Definitely didn't see that coming either. Footage was captured in Salisbury, North Carolina, and posted to TikTok by user tbarber959799. Now, I gotta ask, is this a common thing in North Carolina? Let me know in the comments. The video is short, but it is so good, not just for the snake surprise, but also the guy's reaction. We all felt that. His reaction. And then there's the cat just sitting there staring at the snake, completely unbothered. Gotta love cats. Anyway, not as scary as a lot of the other stuff on this list, but I don't know, I figured we needed a slight break. This footage was uploaded to YouTube by a man named Michael Hernandez, whose doorbell camera saved him and his family's life. He wrote in the description, at around 3:30 a.m. my family and I were woken to my Wink and Ring app notifying me that there was a motion at the front door. The app must have sounded 3 to 4 times before I finally woke up. Once I opened my eyes, I noticed flames coming from my bedroom window. I immediately ran to the front door to turn on the hose, but couldn't because it was way too hot. I ran back out to try and extinguish the fire with an extinguisher while my fiance called 911. This is pretty wild footage. I mean, it is crazy how fast this small fire turns into a full-on inferno engulfing the front of the house. All of a sudden, back in 2021, a stalker in Dallas, Texas had been standing outside a woman's apartment door every night. The woman posted footage from her doorbell cam on Twitter along with the caption, "This is what I've been dealing with since October 31st. This man has been outside my apartment almost every night. I have contacted everyone that I know to contact about this. What is it going to take for y'all to protect and serve?" Very unsettling situation indeed. I mean, we're not pausing the footage here. The guy just stands there, perfectly still, staring at her door. That's crazy. Fortunately, she provided an update. Later, writing, "I am safe for now. I have friends and family here that confronted him, so hopefully he stays away. Since my post has gone viral, last night security did 2 routines throughout the night. Thank you everyone for the continued support." Here we see a couple Jesse Pinkman looking guys trying to rob a woman's house. Is anyone going to get the Jesse Pinkman reference? I don't know, Breaking Bad, it feels like it just ended yesterday, but that was like, what, 2010 that ended? Oh my god, it's nuts. Anyway, the homeowner was fortunately at work when these guys showed up, but she shared the video with her neighbors online, and the men were found they look arrested. Like they're up to no pretty good. Dumb. It's really silly because they both come up and they knock on the door, then one of them looks down, sees the camera, and says out loud, "Oh crap, there's a camera," so they immediately turn around and walk away. So now you look suspicious. I mean, no one would have really thought anything, right? Until you did that, you're just knocking on the door. And then it just gets dumber, because they come back 1 minute later, after being captured on video, exclaiming, "Oh, there's a camera," before rushing away. So what do they do now when they come back? Well, they try to kick the door down, but the homeowner starts talking over the speaker and they just run off again. I wonder why these two were so easy those guys are down. Back in 2017, a massive fire broke out at the City Place Apartments in Overland Park, Kansas. It was so big, fire crews from all over the area raced in to help. While all that was happening, a guy named Matt Bell was just sitting at work when he got a motion alert from his doorbell camera. He opened it up, couldn't believe what he was seeing. Flames were ripping through the apartment building. That just shows you how far his camera cut the embers and stuff can go. They're quite a ways away from that big fire. The flames jumped to his bushes and trees not far away. His neighbor's house was already on fire. At that point, Matt figured his own place might be next. In the end, his house had some damage. There was a hole in the roof, scorched deck, some ruined patio furniture, but it could have been way worse. Homes around him were not so lucky. A lot of them were completely destroyed. At least 22 houses were damaged in total, thanks to flying embers. This next one is just really cool, honestly. Back in 2018, a doorbell camera in Alberta, Canada captured a blazing meteor lighting up the night sky. The footage is so clear that you can actually see the meteor breaking apart mid-air, creating this massive flash before disappearing. Experts who saw the video said the meteor likely exploded in the sky, and its fragments landed just east of Fort McMurray. Thanks to the camera's angle and timing, the video gave scientists a much better shot at tracking down those pieces. And if you're ever lucky enough to see something like this, you might want to know that meteorite chunks can go for about $10 per gram, which is lower than I would have expected. I mean, it's something that came barreling down to Earth from
how many grams are in a pound?
Meteor fragments help scientists get a better understanding of what our solar system would have looked like billions of years ago. $10 per gram. This final clip is exactly why people get doorbell cameras. A guy gets woken up in the middle of the night by someone repeatedly ringing his doorbell, which is rarely ever a good sign. People don't usually show up at your door with good news at 3 a.m. Well, when the dude checks the camera, he sees this. An older woman standing there, kind of swaying back and forth, holding what looks like a kitchen blade. She's not really saying anything, just standing there, ringing the bell over and over. Can't help but wonder what might have happened if he'd opened the door without checking first.
Yeah, I wouldn't open the door, but it does look like dementia.
Hard to say. One thing is for sure, if he didn't have the camera, this could have ended way differently. We got that whole video without doing a ghost. You know, a little blur passing by the doorbell camera. That deserves a win. All that said, I've been your host, James. I'll catch you, yes, you specifically, in the next video.
Well, that was pretty cool. That was some good stuff there. The one with the snake. Ooh. That would be enough to get me right there. How are you going to get rid of it? How are you going to get it off there? That looked like a rattlesnake, but I'm not sure. Whew. Let me know what you thought of that in the comments down below. Now it's time for a joke. I recently joined a nudist colony. The first couple days were the hardest.
Wow!